right. Hi, welcome to Pour Me a Story podcast. I am sitting here with Greta Bajrami. Did I say that right? Bajrami. Okay, no, good, because people even mess up the word Deborah. I've gotten Debra. I've gotten Beverly, which is very weird. So it's very important to me. This is our name. Like, let's not mess it up.
No worries. It's the Albanian, and
yes.
Not a lot of people know how to pronounce it. So.
My husband is Albanian. I love it. I have so many questions for you. I'm so glad you're here. I will explain why you're here in just a moment. But first, why don't we pop the cork and have a cocktail? Because, I mean, it's called Pour Me a Story, so might as well get a little bit of a drink on.
Let's do it.
Yes, girl. All right. Let's see. Uh-oh. Only because I'm on camera, it's going to be like, my producer's backing up. Come on. Woo!
I love it. There we go.
Mazel. There we go. Some rosé to get us going.
Nothing like a good glass of rosé for a European person. Now all I need is a beach, and I'm all set.
Oh my God, I'm with you.
Thank you.
Well, you travel so much. Well,
cheers.
I'm going to bring this back. Cheers.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. I'm so excited. Oh, that doesn't suck.
No, it's
that
good.
is so amazing. So, okay.
I'm going to pretend I'm in Saint-Tropez right now.
Oh my God. We'll have some fans. We'll have some breeze. Yeah. Oh my God, that would be, Saint-Tropez. We were in Cannes in August, and I could really get used to that. I'm not going to lie to you. It's like just the scenery.
Just the
and
beautiful people.
Beautiful people, the rosé, I seriously, I can't even, I couldn't believe it was real. I couldn't believe that my surroundings were actually, it wasn't just airbrushed in. It was unbelievable. So we've definitely gotten the travel bug lately, and I want to take my kids when they can remember,
Oh yeah, definitely. So you don't have to repeat them twice.
Exactly. I want to go so many places. I'm going to put this down for 1 sec, but feel free to keep on drinking. I have my little notebook because I really like to look at my notes. And okay, so we met. I also have to remind myself, Greta and I we met in 2019 at the Metro West Women's Conference. We were both on a panel for female entrepreneurs, which I'm actually very, very excited about. And when I thought about putting together this podcast, Pour Me a Story is about incredible people doing incredible things who started probably somewhere different than where they thought they would end up. And I know I did. I mean, I always tell my husband that I am not in a straight line. My trajectory was, I thought I wanted to make wedding cakes, and now I'm a fucking podcaster. So I don't know exactly what happened, but somewhere I'm not making wedding cakes. I realized I wanted to eat them and eat really good food. And if I was working in the kitchen, I was never going to make enough money to eat with the palate that I have. So ultimately I ended up working in the industry and enjoying the food and the friends and the cocktails and the travel. But then I started writing and doing Bitchless Bride, my first podcast, and I'm Not Sorry. And so when Greta and I met, we were on a panel together about these women entrepreneurs. And, I asked you to join me because what you've built is exceptional. And I knew it the day I met you that I'm like, this person, I'm going to know you. And also, you're local, so it kind of made it easy. But, so tell me a little bit about what you do, and let's start with your story, and then I'll throw some questions at you along the way.
Well, first I want to say that when we met, that was my first ever panel. I faked it till I made it.
Best line ever.
It was amazing because it was sort of a time when everybody was in the Me Too movement. People wanted to see women founders. Yes. So I was right there.
Yes.
And I think that really helped me.
Yes.
And I want to say that moment when you met me was probably me blossoming like a little pod.
My God, I love that.
So to back it up, it wasn't that wonderful. The start was, let me go back. I'm born and raised in Albania. My parents came to the United States when I was 10 years old. The traditional immigrant dream in hopes for a better, for a better life.
Of course.
My mom was a doctor in Albania. My dad was paralegal. they started here at Dunkin' Donuts, the way many Albanians do if you see them. You know, you got to hang up your white coat and start from zero. But my mom didn't care because she was giving me the Americana dream, you know.
Of course.
Everybody, when you're not here in this land, looks at this as the promised land still today, right? You can do things like this podcast, or like the business I'm about to tell you. Because I don't think my story would have ever happened if my story had stayed in Albania. So when I came to the United States, I was super happy. Life was doing great. I applied myself academically.
Ooh,
because
you're a better person than me.
I wanted to make my parents proud. It's like the immigrant child's dream to make your mom and dad proud.
Of course.
But then life had a little bit of a different plan. I remember being the biggest disappointment to not only my parents, but my whole culture, my whole Albanian community.
Why?
Because I got pregnant in high school. I was like Teen Mom. I was Teen Mom MTV Cribs. Like everybody was watching that, and then I was that person in the hallway. And it was funny because I was in AP and honors classes, and they wanted to like kick me out. Because
they do that for being pregnant? Seriously?
Well, they can do it because they try to convince you that you're not going to be able to keep up with the course. But I didn't. I stayed on.
You're like, I'm a woman. I'm fucking pregnant, and I can do a lot of awesome things.
Well, nobody wanted to talk to me. So I would eat lunch alone. I would be alone. And like, the way I got pregnant was in April. They actually had to transfer Freddy from Doherty to Burncoat, where I went in school in Worcester, to like help me because the bullying got so bad. Because I swear people treated me like I had like some disease. Like I was
how old were you? 16 or 17 or?
I was 16 turning 17 because I found out I was pregnant on my birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yeah, but then I like was in denial for a really long time. Sure. I thought the baby was just going to go away. I swear when you see those stories on TV when you're like, how did she know she was not pregnant?
She's like, I thought I just had to go to the bathroom, but then...
That was me for like 4 months. I was like, it's just going to like...
Did you tell your parents right away?
No, I told my principal. Oh my God. I have to put this down because it's going to be
Was your principal
funny.
a man or a woman?
He was a man, and I remember going into his office, and I was like, I need your help because my parents are going to kill me. I mean, I was being a little dramatic.
I'm going to drink.
I'm an immigrant like child. Like, you know, I could not even like fathom what my dad's going to think if I tell him I'm pregnant with a Latino's guy's baby.
Oh my goodness. Not even someone Albanian. If it was someone Albanian, I think he would have been like, meh, okay.
Exactly. So I told my principal, and I've never told this story to anyone. So your audience.
Well, now you're telling it to her.
So your audience gets it first. And it was like really funny because my dad thought I was kidnapped because like the principal, like he came for pickup to pick me up. I wasn't there. I was missing. The principal was like, can you come in, Edward? And then my dad was like, what happened? He's thinking the worst. Like, I've been kidnapped, trafficked. I don't even know. And then my principal, like, lets Freddy come out to tell him. And I'm hiding this whole time behind, like, a classroom. And it was, like, really traumatic. When I look back at it, I was like, why did my principal agree to that? Like, I almost gave my parents a heart attack thinking I'd been murdered.
Yes. Was your mom there, too?
Yes, both my parents were there, and Freddie told them while the principal was there. Like, I remember her crying for like 3 days. She wouldn't leave the room.
And Freddie was the baby daddy?
Yes, and my husband today.
Okay.
And my business partner.
Wow. So. Okay, so I mean, this turned out well. Maybe a little sooner than we anticipated.
Yes, it turned out well. We're definitely one of those stories that shouldn't have happened but happened, and it happened with a happy ending. Not that everybody, you know, when me and Freddie got pregnant together with us in a lot of social programs, in those social programs you meet a lot of people that make you believe that you're supposed to stay there and that's okay with you. And I remember looking around and looking at the social groups, and I told Freddie, we don't belong here. We got to do better. Like, we can't stay in these programs, you know, that the state is putting us on to like almost like pet us in the head and be like it's okay.
It's fine. It's fine. You'll be just fine staying average because I mean, but you're anything but average. I mean, especially like AP and honors and a whoops baby. So would that put you as a junior or a senior? So you were
I was
junior?
going into my senior year. Yeah. When I was pregnant with Kara.
And so you had Kara during your senior year?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow. I was like the girl that nobody wanted to talk to.
I'm so sorry.
Because I had her in December.
Do you think that would have happened today? Like people, like, do you think we're more open? Like,
I don't know what's going on. I actually think there's less teen parents now than there was. I think with the 90s.
I don't think it's abstinence though.
Yeah, no, I think they just got smarter.
I think it's, maybe they're smarter. I don't know.
But they're definitely smarter. Maybe there's more birth control to go around. I don't know.
I hope so. I mean, I remember going to the nurse's office in high school getting condoms. Like I actually do. And that was something that they like gave us and said, okay, abstinence is going to be the best way possible for you not to get pregnant, obviously, and STIs or STDs in my day. But it wasn't realistic. If you had a long-term boyfriend, I had a long-term boyfriend in high school. It wasn't realistic to.
Yeah, and Freddy went to Catholic high school. He went to St.
Oh my God! It just keeps getting worse.
And he got kicked out when the nuns found out that he had left a girl pregnant. He got kicked out. That's why he had to go to Doherty, because he was going to St. Peter Marian, and they found out that he had left a girl pregnant, and they called his dad, and they're like, he's getting expelled, like right now, not tomorrow, today. And I remember Freddie calling me and saying, I just got expelled from St. Peter Marian because the nuns found out. They took my phone because they would like go through your phone, the nuns, and they found out that he was like talking to me about the baby.
Oh my! Wait, can I ask you, how old are you?
I'm 35.
Oh my God. First of all, fuck off so nicely. You look amazing.
Thank you.
I am 47, but like you did all this. This was what? So Kara is what? Almost 20?
No, Kara just turned 18.
18, sorry. See, that I'm in the creative side. I can't do math to save my life. Okay. Wow. Okay. Because I've seen the pictures on Insta and she's stunning. And like, you're obviously doing something, right?
Oh, she's my everything. I think looking back, everything happened the way it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
If you believe in like, that's your path in life, then maybe that was mine. And I'm so grateful that she came into my life because she made me want to become an incredible person. Like, I remember like I was smart, but I was just that. Like, I was just like a girl who was like, oh, I look pretty. I go to the gym. I was really obsessed with my body during that time. I wanted to always be fit. I was always going be the it girl, right?
Yes.
Like, we were all watching Mean Girls during that time. Like, everybody wanted to be the it girl in their school.
What'd she say? Stop trying to make Fletch happen. Was it Fletch or Clutch or something? Like,
exactly.
Yes.
So I think Kara coming into my life made me realize that I wanted so much more. And I remember being obsessed with wanting to give Kara everything. And I remember buying this Bugaboo stroller that was like $1,800 stroller, like as a server working at Legal Seafoods in Framingham making tips. But I was like, I'm going to get my daughter the stroller that like Kim Kardashian's going to buy their kids, you know? It doesn't matter if she came into my life early. Like, I need to give her the best of everything. I possibly can. And I remember going to Crate and Barrel. Like, I was buying my furniture at Goodwill, but Kara's bed came from Crate and Barrel. You know, like, and Pottery Barn. And I was like, because that's what I wanted. And it didn't matter how poor I was. Didn't matter that I was shopping at Goodwill. Like, for Kiara, it was always, I have to give her the best because I didn't want her to ever feel that we had her at the incorrect time. I always wanted her to be shielded. And if you look at Kiara today, I don't think she ever knew what we were going through. Like, you know, Freddie and I we always made sure that we didn't have something, but she always had it. That's as amazing. The other kids in class.
That's amazing. And I feel like as a parent, like I look at my kids and want to give them everything. You know, you can't, whether the timing is right. It's funny because my story is like a little opposite. I went through in vitro. So I really wanted kids and couldn't get pregnant because I'm a little broken. I have endometriosis, but whatever. So it's fine now, but it's funny. I do look at my kids and say, I want to give you everything I possibly can to, you know, again, like Chris and I met a million years ago. We met over 20 years ago and we did not have a lot of money. So it's just, it's not even the money though.
No.
Right? It's like, I brought you into this world as a birthright. I'm going to try and give you everything I possibly can. Yeah, or else why? Why did I, you know? And one of my favorite kind of cheesy, actually kind of really cheesy quotes is like, you have to trust the timing of your life. Mm-hmm. And I think as I get older and, you know, you kind of weed out the people that you don't want in your life or the toxic situations that you don't want or the business partners or the clients that you don't want, you get a little picky.
Of course.
And we definitely deserve that. And especially like lessons that we're trying to teach our kids.
Oh yeah. I mean, like a lot of people look at me now and they're like, oh, you can afford a nanny or babysitter. Like, why do you take your kids everywhere? And I said, because my life is for them. Like, my life is with them. I didn't have them to like be taking care of somebody else. I had them for me to have this experience
to enjoy.
Because it's so limited, you know? Now that Kara's turned 18, I realize that like my time now with her and Enzo, like is so limited. So I take Enzo everywhere. Like it's crazy. Like it's dysfunctional. There's moments where I wish I could just like have a drink without having to worry about, you know, putting Enzo in or like missing out on the nightlife of like Amsterdam where we were this winter. But I would never replace it. Right, because my time with him, like I had him, I wanted him to come into my life. So,
of course. How old is he?
He's 9.
Oh, okay. So I have a 9-year-old, almost 10-year-old, and they're fun, but they have a lot of energy.
They have a lot of energy, but I wouldn't exactly. But looking at some of my girlfriends who have like nannies and babysitters and all that stuff, it's like I don't know. Like I wouldn't do it. I would always put them first because, again, like the career, the podcasting, the fun stuff, we can always have that when they're 18. It's going to, before you know,
we're going to miss
it. They're going to be
like, I know,
like
my daughter's 14. It's like all of a sudden she's finishing her freshman year and it's weird, honestly. there's a piece of me that feels it's very like everyone tells you it's like the fastest and the slowest time of your life. Like I look at pictures. I was just looking at something and it was like Chris and me before we had kids, and it was just like I barely even remember the time before Molly. I barely even remember, and yet we do all these things for them now, and I don't even remember like the before times. I think the only thing I remember that sometimes I miss is the waking up in the morning and on a weekend and looking at my husband and going, I don't know. What do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? Now there's just so much shit to do. And it's for them. And I'm happy.
Yeah, of course. And that was just to bring you back, that was mine and Freddy's story. It was about survival, about having this child together. We lost a lot of support. We had to financially be responsible for ourselves, grew up overnight.
Did your parents kick you out?
Yes and no. My father was always very stern. Like he was, my parents, first of all, didn't have any money. So it's not like they could really support
It's not even, but emotional support though.
Emotional support was there, but it wasn't there. For my mom, it was always there. But for my dad, it was there physically, but not emotionally, because it was very hard for him to swallow his pride, because I was an only child. He had so many dreams for me, and he had left all his dreams behind to support my dreams. And he felt like I had failed us, which was a very, and I hadn't failed him. I had failed us. That's how he felt at that time. But, to grow up overnight was the hardest thing, I think. When you think about like being 18 and having a child, you have to grow up overnight. You have to become an adult. And the crazy part is like, Freddie and I always tell people, they're like, oh, you must have been madly in love. It's like, no, we didn't know what love was.
No, we like sex.
Yeah, we did not know what love was. Like, are you serious? No, we tried to fall in love. And I'm glad that we did through raising Kiara.
Wow. And it's so funny because I feel like that's an amazing thing you just said, because you fell in love through raising Kiara. And so many people are like, our marriage is shit. Our relationship is shit. It isn't working. Let's have a baby. And I feel like some of the times I've hated my significant other the most in my life is like the early times when you are tired and you're getting up for feedings, you're getting up, your sleep schedule is messed up, your life is totally different. And so needless to say, those weren't my favorite times with my husband. Like, yes and no, like I'm exaggerating, but those are the hardest times for sure. So when people are like, oh, we're going to have a baby just to try and fix our, I'm like, oh my God, girl, you don't even know what is happening. But
and paycheck to paycheck, working at Legal Seafoods as servers, trying to go to school. We went to Worcester State University because it was the only college we could afford to pay. And living in food stamps, going to the welfare office in Worcester, downtown. We were bummed. Like, it was pretty tough life. Wow. Like, people don't realize how tough my life was today, and they don't realize that that wasn't too long ago. That was like 10 years ago. You're
35. I was going to say that was not too long ago.
No, a lot of people see me now, and they see me in these situations or these 5-star resorts, and like, I that's still a part of my identity that never leaves you. And I have two eyes, and I tell Kiara that my superpower into the world is that I have two eyes at all times, one of a very poor, underprivileged person, and one of this successful person that gets invited and send all these gifts. So it's my superpower because I can see through every situation with both eyes.
I love that. Oh my God, Greta. Well, I just got like a wave of like, damn it, and we're recording on film. No, but it is amazing. I mean, I love that you appreciate everything you have, but part of it too, appreciating it because it wasn't handed to you.
No, and I created
it. You created it, and you were kind of, you're an anomaly in that so many people would have stayed average.
Oh, yeah.
Would have just stayed where they were without trying to progress. What happened? How did you start? Oh my God, I must say Golden Goose. I'm thinking their shoes. Golden Goose Roofing. Okay.
I want to be compared to Golden Goose.
Golden Goose, they are great shoes.
Yeah, so Golden Group was started as a accidental beginning to try to make it out of the paycheck to paycheck. Construction was just coming out of the recession of 2008, and there was a lot of jobs. And Freddie's uncle at the time worked in construction. Was like, hey, just become subs. Like, go grab a van, get a workers' comp, general liability insurance, get some guys, go look for work for GCs. Like, there's a lot of work now. He's like, you don't have to work serving tables at Legal Seafoods. So we were like, okay, like that sounds like a plan. So we got into it.
Did Freddie work with you at Legal?
Yes, we both worked. We always had a Volvo station wagon that could not turn on and had an ignition problem, like starter problem. It would turn on after 4 tries, but like everybody knew it was our car because it would go like tick, 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 And then
That's when you had to turn the ignition.
Yeah, you'd have to like do
There's
it
no
like
buttons
3
to
4th
press.
time, and then it would finally turn on. So that was our car, and it leaked oil. So we had to park it like really far away. No, it was
So you went set the house on fire.
yeah, like no, I just think like we had to always buy like a little oil thing at the gas station to like fill it up. It was tough times. I mean, the car was only like worth $1,000 when we bought it. So like everybody used to call it the funeral car.
There's your hearse.
They were like, oh my God, here comes Greta and Freddy. So we always worked together because we didn't have a car. So we always try to get jobs like working the same shifts.
That's brilliant.
Always hustler grind mentality. And then Golden Group, our opportunity was presented to us. So we took it. We started off in the summer of 2012 in construction. It was supposed to be something temporary while we got a real job, quote unquote.
That's always how it goes.
And we ended up staying 3 years into it. Not because of we loved it. I wouldn't say I loved roofing. That would be a lie if I told somebody, oh yeah, at the age of 21, I woke up one day and I just love roofing so much.
I love business. I don't love the roofing.
I just wanted to like make something of myself. But when I got into the construction, I was down $20,000. I realized how dirty of an industry it was. I realized that the GCs didn't pay me. They didn't pay me on time. They discounted me. It's the ugly truth of construction. Anybody listening that has somebody in construction is like, yep, she figured it out.
Nodding their head, yep.
Nobody told me it was going to be that ugly when I got into it. But then I didn't want to be a loser twice.
Damn, girl.
Because my friends had already graduated Worcester State. They had already gotten jobs at like State Street Financial in Boston.
Yeah.
They had already dressing with pencil skirt and high heels. And here I was, had lost so many years in construction because I thought it was going to be like a Willy Wonka ticket. And I was down a lot of money. I was making like $17,000. Another story that I've never shared, and I'm going to share it later on in my book. I actually sold 33% of Golden Group for $5,000.
Oh my fucking God.
But wait, I bought it back because my friend was like, just give me $5,500. This is the worst job I've ever had. We're making like 2 cents a day. I could work at McDonald's and make more money. And then I was like, oh no, like you want your 5,000 back, but then you want 5,500. So then I had to go to my mom and beg her to give me 5,500 so I can buy my 33% back, which I'm so glad I did.
How long was it after that you sold it that she wanted to, or your friend wanted it back?
He only stayed like 5 months. He was like, this is the worst thing ever. We were making like $7,000.
Awesome. Oh my God.
A year. So
I mean, no judgment, but damn. I mean, that's
to fast forward, I stayed into Golden Group, not because I was like, oh my God, I love roofing. I don't want to lie to anybody listening, but because I didn't want to be labeled as a loser twice. And I was like, if he called me the worst names in the book at a Starbucks coffee shop, he wanted his money back. I gave him his money back. And then I said to myself, I need to do this. And that is how I got, Freddie and I got the idea that we would not let the dirty world of construction. We would take all the time when we had invested 3 years working with GCs, all that experience, all those tools that we had purchased. And so we said, you know what, we got to go direct to consumer. And that was in 2015, October.
Oh my God. Wow. First of all, don't you kind of love the stories? Like, this is your story. And I'm sitting here listening going, I love that someone kind of did you wrong, was a total jerk. And you were basically like, you know what? I'm going to turn this around. Have you seen this person?
Oh, no, actually, I don't blame him. I have. He's still a really good friend. I don't blame him at all. He was actually trying to help me out in a way. He actually did me a favor asking for the money back.
Yeah, that's true. See, that's such a healthy perspective because I'd be like, calls me all the dirty names in the book. You're whining about this. And I'd be like, well, I'm going to go make it. Watch me.
I mean, I didn't make it because of him. I made it more because of the fact that I knew that was what everybody was thinking, not just him. He was just my friend since we were.
Were they
12.
though, or were you thinking that about yourself? You know what I mean? At a young age,
I was thinking that about myself for sure, but I'm sure other people were too. I'm so glad that Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram wasn't as popular in 2015 as it is today. Yep. Only because, like, if you saw me at a Cumberland Farms at 9 p.m. looking like I had just come from a job site because I was the cleaner and I used to be on the roofs, and the roofs get you really dirty because the asphalt. And I did not look like this. And I was eating like a hot dog.
You like you're hot.
No. I was eating like a hot dog, and I'm so glad nobody like took a picture of me because I would have been like famous. I guess maybe it would have worked out too.
I mean, listen,
I would have turned it around.
I was gonna say, I feel like you would have turned it around because you're you. That is so incredible. How many employees do you have now?
Today we have 44. We hired one last Wednesday.
Wow.
So I'm very excited. The company has definitely grown from going direct to consumer to fast forward the story because they will just get to some We went direct to consumer and we never stopped. You know, Michael was our first customer that gave me a shot with Freddy. He wanted referrals. We didn't have any because we had a lot of non-competes, but he said, you know what, I'm going to go with you. Long story short, from October to December, we made more money than we ever had working a full year for a GC. And then we never stopped. And I think business is a little bit of luck because in 2016, the ice dams happened, a big ice dam. Insurance companies didn't care how long you'd been in business. If you had insurance and you had people, you were being awarded jobs to shovel snow, help with roofs that were about to collapse.
Yes.
So I made $100,000 in 8 weeks in profit because we were working like first responders. Yeah. And then I remember the next morning I woke up and I told Freddy, like, find the best marketing agency. And he's like, Pagano Media. I've heard about it because we lived in Worcester. And we were like calling Pagano Media. We're like, hi, we want to come in. We want everything. And we ended up buying like everything from a brand kit to a branding video, to a website, to a roofing calculator, to photography. Like, I mean, we got the whole hookup, like stationery, everything. And then we were like, now we're ready.
Now you're ready.
And I want to say, it's a funny story. My mom tried to talk me out of that so much because she was like, this could be a down payment for a house. Like, you could close this business, go get a real job. That's why I always say real job. So
thanks, Mom.
So I was
I've heard
like,
that
Mom,
a few times in my life.
I was like, Mom, I've been poor my whole life. Like what's that?
What's
the
another
100
year?
Yeah, what's the $100,000 gonna do? It's
Yeah.
not gonna like change anything. I'm still gonna be poor. Like, let me try this. Let me try this. And she was like, whatever, you're gonna lose it all.
Well, also she's probably like, you're gonna do it whether I agree with it or not, because I feel like that's who you are.
She came to the parking lot of the Pagano Media to try to persuade me.
She actually came to the parking lot?
Yeah, she was like, don't do it. She's an immigrant parent. It's true. They're like, they have a lot of scarcity mindset.
Yeah, yes, 100%. Like yes, I can understand that. Also, you're her baby. She's seen you go through it. She sees
me now having $100,000.
Yes, and like, here's $100,000. Go get a house. Go get a down payment. Whatever it is. Oh my God.
Go get a real job.
A real job.
So that's Golden Group, and we never stopped. Freddie and I never stopped doubling down. I think if people ask me all the time, like, what's your superpower? What's your gift to growing this business? We know how to just take enough water to quench our thirst. And I think that's an art when you're a business owner.
Yes.
Your ability to just take enough and then let the business flourish itself. So eventually it can take care of not just all your team, but it can take care of you and have liquid capital to operate. And I think that's our superpower. Is like when the money started rolling in, the millions, we never touched anything. We still remained humble. And it wasn't until just very recently that we started to really enjoy the fruits of our labor. But once we made sure that Golden Group was like rock solid.
Yes. But you know what, as you should, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like you can't take the money with you. You can't, I mean, I try and be charitable. I'm sure you do too. I think I've read based on my research, you know, it's so much for the notebook. I don't need notes. But no, you know what I mean? Like, based on everything I know about you and how you present, how you speak, how you make me feel just sitting with you. I mean, I'd love to be your client. Do I need a new roof? Should we go?
I actually looked at your roof. It looked good when I walked in. That's why I asked just who remodeled your home. But no, I mean, being charitable and giving back will always be a part of my identity because, like I said, that was only 10 years ago. I can't forget where I was. No. I think the highest honor I've received last year was when 2023, when I won when I was awarded the Golden Hammer Award for philanthropy from Habitat for Humanity.
Oh, amazing.
That was really touching that they, you know, that Freddie and I, the moment Golden Group had anything, we always gave back to Habitat.
Of course.
Because it felt like the right charity because we never thought we were going to be homeowners. We always thought we were going to live in a triple decker. Our vision of success was so small. Like, our dream was like, you become a general manager, I'll become a general manager of a restaurant. Like, maybe we'll get like a little house. So to be able to not only work on people's homes today, but give the gift of home to somebody else is the biggest, most touching thing. Wow. So charities will always be a part of our identity. And I think whoever's listening that knows our impact in the communities that we support, even during COVID, we didn't shut the door to any charity because I think the business owners that are really driven by profit and loss and balance sheet miss the bigger picture.
Oh, 100%. I mean, it can't always be about the money. I mean, I get that money has to factor in. I mean,
of course you have to be profitable, but
but
you have to also lead with vision, and you can't be scared of like today, because today you might make a wrong move, maybe cut somebody's hours down, take somebody's benefits, shut a door in a community partner that's always been there for you. And then like 3 months from now, the market, and then we're in that scenario right now. Yeah. As we're speaking, you know, a lot of scarcity in construction and continue business as usual, while a lot of our partners sort of start, oh no, like we're not going to be part of that this year. Like we're going to see where the market takes us.
And that's fear, right? And I feel like if we let our fears drive us, we're going to have nothing. And that is something that I I mean, I think this is my third podcast. I think about that. I think about all the different hats I've tried on, that if I was afraid of it, you know, no one likes failure, but I'm getting kind of used to it. You know, like I'm going to fail 1,000 times. I'm going to, but have that fear manifest into something different, into everything positive, like what you just described. I mean, this isn't your only company, right?
No, I've started 2 other businesses.
I mean, duh.
Yeah, well, I started them accidentally. Well, first was Rootless. Rootless is a mission-based app that's completely free to anybody that uses this or any event that we put together. We usually put them in academic settings like Harvard, Babson, Yale, but it's completely free. And it was something that was started because of the podcasting. I started doing a lot of podcasting, being guest in a lot of podcasts, and I kept asking myself, what am I? And the word, my husband, Freddy, chose the word rootless, without roots, because he said that I have the ability to flourish wherever I'm put, regardless if I have roots or not in that setting. And he said that a lot of people talk about roots all the time. And it's amazing when you hear people talk about roots, because roots for a lot of people are strength. They're reminders of, you know, the community that they have, the parents that they have. But then when a person like myself is in that room, I feel really bad because I don't have roots.
I was going to say.
I don't have roots that are embedded in something good or something amazing with strong community. You know, my roots have always not been there, but I've still tried, right? Like when I started this business, my GC at the time told me I'm crazy. He said, you're an only child, you're like an immigrant, you are like living paycheck to paycheck. Like who's gonna like go out there and give you a referral business? Like you don't know anyone.
And you're like, yeah, but then you have to believe in yourself, but it doesn't matter. I feel like also as a woman, I think you're also a light. So you're a rootless light.
Thank you.
You light the room, and people remember that. You know, Maya Angelou said that people might not remember your name, but they remember how you make them feel. And I want you to stay, like, can you move into my house? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like it is,
Thank you.
but it's nice. It's, you know, and it takes one to know one. I know I'm a light too, but, and I'll say something about rootless, why I love it so much. And maybe just to change your perspective on the roots too. Roots can also hold you back. So like roots, some people blame the roots of why they can't move forward. Right. So like, I look at it as like, I was rooted in Chicago. My entire family is in Chicago. I moved here when I was 14, turning 15, my third school in 3 years. My mom met my stepdad. They commuted from Chicago to Boston. And then she moved here and I followed her. And it was scary. And I had no friends and same type of thing. And I was young. But it was such an experience. And I felt like I didn't have any roots in it. But I had also at the same time, I had never felt more comfortable because I finally felt like, okay, I thrive on this. I really like this change. It pushed me to go to San Francisco for culinary school. It pushed me to elope with my husband and do things that were a little bit outside the norm because I mean, my root is my mom, but I mean, let's be honest, sometimes, you know, I love her, but she's my Jewish mom, and sometimes she drives me up a fucking wall. Sorry, Mom, I love you. I'm sorry. I know you're listening. But something, you know what I mean? So I don't really think that not having, like, it's great to be grounded, but you don't have to be rooted because rooted is really, like, you know, I mean, as in construction, that's a bitch to dig up when you want to move. I mean, if you really think about it, that's
absolutely.
difficult. So
Rootless,
cheers
girl.
to
Rootless. So Rootless is my everything. It's my mission. It's my way of giving back to others to uplift them. And then through Rootless team, the team that built the app, the team that did the graphics and everything, I was like, I want to keep these people employed. Yeah. What can I do? And then I decided to create Rootless Agency, which is a web marketing, but most importantly, app development company. And we're very privileged to work in the Boston market with apps, websites, but really business strategic planning. So somebody will come and like, we have really fun projects. Like somebody will come to me when they have just like an idea and then we'll like create the whole business plan. Like we'll create the whole thing and then we'll like build it out. And then sometimes people come to me with midlife crisis ideas, and those people I kind of help. I won't say what it is because then I don't want somebody listening to like hit me with a lawsuit.
No, but we've all been there.
But we've all been there. Sometimes I get these people who come. They're like, I have $100,000 set aside. Like this is my business idea, and I'm like, how do I tell them? Like
it sucks.
It sucks, but like in a way that like it's
not gonna crush them.
No. Like you could still do it, but like I'm not gonna put my reputation and brand behind it. Like kind of suck. Yeah. Like I would never tell somebody that it sucks because you know what? Maybe, but like sometimes I have fear that like one was so crazy. I have to tell you off camera, but it was like and I'm like, and they're like, no, but I want to work with you, Greta, like I'm gonna give you my money. And I was like, oh, I was like, the team, we're not ready for that project yet. Like,
come back to me. But you know what? Also too, I mean, you're not a dream crusher, right?
So no. I just know that if I'm not comfortable knowing that I will deliver something, I can't associate, because the worst thing I could do to somebody is disappoint them or disappoint myself with them. Like, that's not a good feeling. Because
that's why you're a great business owner. But seriously, that's why you're a great business owner, because, I'm a former wedding planner, and one of the most, not the most, but one of the most important days of people's lives. And there's pressure there.
I've never had a wedding. I'm just kidding. Sorry.
Girl, I would dust off these chops for you, but I still know a decent amount of people who could help. I would steer you. And I would be your consultant / vent. But again, it's, and as you should have a wedding and celebrate your marriage and celebrate everything that you've done in a different kind of way, because, if your wedding is the best day of your life, what are you saying about the rest of your life? So I feel like, and that's why I started doing Bitchless Bride and kind of got out of it, because so many people were focused on the wrong thing. You and Freddy built something, your family, this empire. You've done so many amazing things. You should actually, I'm having light bulb moments left and right. You should have a fucking wedding.
I know.
You should celebrate, not even just because you can afford it, but also like more about look what we've accomplished.
Yes,
and here's
we got
to the
married.
next.
We got married at City Hall, like while wearing our serving outfits, because we had to do it like before tax season, because we had Kiara.
So romantic, Greta.
Because we had to we could have missed a day of work. When I tell people we were working 7 days a week, they're like, she's procrastinating. Like, okay, and I'm like, no. Like, we were really working 7 days a week for like 4 years, like nonstop.
I mean, were you at least eating really well at Legal?
Oh yeah, I mean, I was not the weight I have now. I gained 100 pounds for my misery, so I lost it now, thank goodness. But
okay, you and I have a commonality there. I'm going to shift. I'm going to do it. I'm going to need more. I was going to say, we're going to need more booze for this. Cheers. Hold on, let me fill you up a little. You know what? I'm going to do you first. Almost did me. Sorry. I have no manners. See, I'm feeling it. Dave's like, yeah. Uh-huh. I'm feeling my non-alcohol. Don't worry, he can. All right, get in there. Cheers. Okay, so we were just saying, so did you really gain 100 pounds?
Yes.
And
100.
how much did you, so tell me your weight loss story, and then I'll chime in.
Of course. So it was 2022. I went to see my doctor, and she was like, your blood results don't look really good. Can we go give you a liver scan and everything, MRI, the whole 9 yards. And I was like, okay. So I'm there and
you're 32 at this point.
I'm sitting there in Framingham. There's people who have cancers, a lot of life, long stage 4. You're you're sort of being diagnosed with people that and I'm like, oh my God, first of all, it was a really life, wake up moment. What have you done, Greta? Yeah. And I remember, they did their tests, and I remember my doctor calling me in, and she was like, hey, you have non-alcoholic fatty liver, but it's deteriorating super fast, almost like somebody was drinking 12 cans of beer a day.
No way.
And she was like, I really believe it's just because of the amount of weight you have on your body and the amount of stress that you have on your body. And both, she said, together with, workaholic behavior is really gonna you're gonna die. It's not a matter of you're not gonna die. She's
just when
she's probably in your early 50s. Nobody wants to hear that. And I was like, oh my God, I just started living. My first 30 years in life was
seriously, I've been working my whole life, and now
I was like, Freddy, I'm finally starting to wear nice clothes, drive a nice car. I'm gonna lose this? And I'm like, damn, you're gonna survive me? You're gonna anyways. So I turned everything into a joke because I don't want to be sad ever in front of my kids. But I was really sad. I was really depressed. I was back in my home country of Albania. And it was the lowest time in my life.
Were you vacationing there, just visiting him?
I was vacationing to see my family. And I remember seeing these beautiful girls. And I remember crying. And I remember coming back to my doctor. And I said, I'm not even really eating that much. I just said, I don't know how I put on this weight. And I don't know how to begin to lose it.
It's hard.
And she said, we have a lot of options we can give you. She said, obviously gastric bypass, sleeve, those are there for you. But she's like, we've just started this new drug called Ozempic. Do you want to be put on it? And I was like, okay. Sure. I was the first ever trial. Shit. And they were they're we don't know how it's going to work. We don't know if there's any weight loss, but we've been told that it could work. And I was like, I'll take it.
Good for you.
And then a week later, these shots started arriving at my house. And all of a sudden, I'm losing weight. because I'm losing weight. Because before, like, I would eat well, but I wasn't losing weight, and I'd be like,
and then you'd be sad you weren't. So you're like, it's not working. So I'm going to eat this ice. I know.
So
100%.
for me, when people criticize Ozempic on the air, I get really sad because would you have rather me like died? Like, I was going to the gym, I was eating healthy, I wasn't like stuffing my face at a buffet. Everybody that knew me. It's just I had never lost the baby weight of both pregnancies, and I had slowly gained like 5 to 7 pounds a year just from like always eating late, being in, you know, like never really focusing on myself. Because people that work in construction, you know how it is. Like, you're grabbing a Dunkin' Donuts like bagel, then you're maybe eating like a Chipotle at like 5, and then maybe you're still getting like a snack at like 10 in your house because you're working on some papers.
And it's not necessarily bad, but you're not getting the nutrients and you're not getting everything you need. And it's funny, I did Ozempic. I did its sister. I'm on Zepbound. Different story in that, like, the other side of this studio is my gym. I've always worked out. I was a gymnast growing up. My fitness has always been important to me. I'm really weirdly strong. It's like it's a family trait on my mother's side. My sister has it too. It's very bizarre. That's my superpower. No, I mean, I'm not going to go lift a car, but working out has always been my mental Prozac, like along with my real Prozac. But so for me, it's like it's when I'm pent up. I need to get it out. If I don't run, if I don't lift weights, if I don't box, if I don't do something, I feel seriously like I'm going to explode, no matter my weight.
Right.
But what happened is the endometriosis, I didn't realize and I'm 47. So I'm starting like premenopause and all that. Basically, I had a wake up call too. My blood work, the weird thing is my blood work was fine. I was just 204 pounds. And if I'm 5'4", I'm like, how the fuck did this happen?
Yeah.
And also, so I'm like, oh girl, you got big, right? So I started doing Weight Watchers because that always
I've done everything.
Right. I've done everything. But this time it didn't really work. It was so slow. I was working out. I was counting my points. I cut my drinking. I cut my eating, all this stuff. And I was miserable. So I went to go see a gastroenterologist, I got the scan. They had to scan my liver first. It was important to me to do it with my doctor. Yeah. Like Weight Watchers had a program where I could have done it through them with the Ozempic or Wegovy or whatever. And I'm like, I need to do this with a doctor. I want to be watched. I want someone to hold me accountable. I want to go in for blood work. I want to go in and have another liver scan to see if the medicine's messing with me. And so I went in and the guy's like, yeah, your endometriosis and your age. He's like, the cards are stacked against you. Do you want to try this? And at first, in the gym world, everyone was saying, well, you're cheating.
Yes.
And I'm like, I'm not fucking cheating. I am really strong. You just can't see it. My goal isn't to be thin. My goal is to be strong. My daughter looks at me and goes, Mama, you've got muscles. I'm like, I know. I can do push-ups and pull-ups. And like, you can just see them now. I went from 204 to like 137.
That's incredible.
And like, I seriously think I weighed more in high school and I've never felt better. And like,
exactly.
I get angry too, because it's like, there's the haters out there. Are you going to take my Prozac away from me because it's helping me mentally? Are you going to?
Well, I mean, where I turn it around to those people is, if I was 240 pounds and I needed type 2 diabetes, like medicine, would you talk bad about me?
Yeah. No one would give a shit.
You wouldn't. Then you would feel sorry for me.
Yeah.
So you would rather feel sorry for me, and it goes back to that teen pregnancy where people felt sorry for me when I was, in a terrible spot, but didn't feel happy for me when I was uplifting myself out of that terrible situation, trying to do something for myself. So that's the narrative that I always tell people, is like, if somebody's doing something to better their life, to look healthier, be healthier, walk with their kids more, be more active, and just smile more.
Oh my God, 100%.
Just smile more. I was always smiling when you look at my pictures, but I was never smiling on the inside. And whoever knew me knew that I used to, because I was always the life of the party. That never changed. But inside me, I was always crying being the life of the party. So my friends would always invite me out. They'd go dress shopping, but I'd be like, oh, I don't care. I don't want to buy anything. But inside of me, I was crying. But in the forefront, nobody knew, because I was always smiling. When they would go clubbing, I would still be there wearing like clothes that were too tight for me. But but I would still be there dancing. But they looked beautiful. They looked gorgeous. I was still making them feel beautiful. But inside me, I was crying. But
you looked beautiful too, because I've met you and I saw those photos. I know what you're talking about. And I'm not just saying this because I'm pretty honest at this point. I mean, I really have a hard time hiding, but I think too, a bigger weight didn't mean you weren't beautiful. It just, I think what you exude now is just being comfortable in your own skin.
So that's why I always tell people is if I'm happy today and I'm the best version of myself for myself, not for you necessarily, for myself, be happy for me. However I got here, just be happy for me. It's not like I'm doing like illegal drugs, sitting in the parking lot. Like this is something the doctor gave me
prescribed.
Because the alternative would have been type 2 diabetes medicine, heart, pressure medicine, who knows what else, and probably death. You'd
An
be at my
early
funeral.
grave, and then
So
what are
be
you doing for your kids?
me. Like, don't be happy for people.
Kira and Enzo need you. So does Freddy. Like,
Yes.
that. I think that is like one of the main.
That's the point I wanted to drive on this podcast.
No,
don't be happy for people when they're in a like terrible situation and like actually like feel good. I don't even know how to put it into words in English. Like it doesn't come to me. But like all I'm telling you is when I was a teen mom, everybody would like come and pat my head, tell me that was okay. I didn't want you to tell me it was okay. I wanted you to tell me that like
I got you.
Get up, Greta.
Yes.
Go finish school. Like do it. You're gonna like that's what I tell my kids. Like so what? You got the bad deck of the cards.
Yep.
So what? She got the good deck.
Yeah.
Just means you got to work 10 times harder, and that's okay. And that's what I want people to understand, that when like Greta, like 240 pounds, not 204, 240 for me, it's like, tell me, like, do it. Whatever you need to do it because I want to see you healthy. I want to see you better.
And you want to see you live, and you want to see you live well, and the cool thing is too, like you said, now you started to eat healthy and like,
oh my God, now I'm not on it anymore, but my patterns, my lifestyle patterns, the way I eat, the way I see food, the relationship I have with health, with mental health as well. Like, of course, how much I prioritize like just tranquility, like reading and stuff like that, because I realized that like I was putting a lot of pressure on my body, and now I realize how important it is for me to like disconnect.
Yes.
Go outside, like read a book.
Yes.
And just like relax.
I
And
love
like,
that.
and it would have never happened. And thank you so much to the gods for sending us them, because I'm gonna like cut half my, gastric bypass was my next option.
No, of course. And it's funny what you said, your relationship with food. I remember I went to my therapist as I started to lose weight. And I said, well, I don't know what the fuck we're going to talk about. It's like, I have so much space in my head now that I'm not constantly thinking. And also you're a social person too. So I think part of it too, it's not, it's going out with your friends. Yeah, maybe we had a few too many drinks and those are caloric or whatever. But I looked forward to like going out with my friends and what the food was going to be and what the booze was going to be. And, because I grew up in the hospitality industry, that's what I did. I would have clients, and what we did we ate and drank together at the Metro West at the conference.
Now I don't know what to do with myself.
I know.
When I go out, I'm like, I don't want to eat. So what do we do? Like, do we order like one appetizer? I feel so guilty. Let's tell the server we're going to tip extra. Like if we take over the state. But it's amazing. I'm really happy for it. I'm really happy where I am now. I will say like to continue with the conversation, for now life, when you get to this side of the leadership board, gets a little lonelier. Yeah. I wish it wasn't.
Do you think that's because people, it's like they're rooting for you, but a little against you, and you're starting to meet, and you look good, and you're successful.
Now all of a sudden, like people have started to drop like flies.
Like you're in fuck you territory.
Yeah, like now it's like, oh, like maybe like when she was fat, like it was okay still, but now she's like a triple threat, and then it kind of saddens me because I feel like entrepreneurship. I tell my daughter every day she wants to be an entrepreneur, and I tell her like, you gotta really, be ready for the ride, because it gets lonelier and lonelier and lonelier, and it gets harder and harder emotionally, and only the very fit survive, or they think they're surviving, but they got like,
but they're not. They got their baggage.
Like we hear about it on the news. But it's tough. It's tough now. Now when I try to celebrate my wins, it's tough because everybody expects me to be still the poor Greta and the poor Freddy from Worcester.
Well, I don't see like that. Hey, when are we going out?
Yes,
we'll get an appetizer and like 2 drinks.
Yes, let's do it. I love Zuma in Boston. That's a good vibe.
Yes, I do. In the Four Seasons, I do like that. Yes.
So yeah, cool. I mean that's something sad, I guess, with entrepreneurship. When you get to the height of it, you start losing a little bit of the support that you had in the beginning, because
it's an interesting take. Wow. Yeah, seriously. And it's interesting and very sad. You know what I mean? I feel like it's sad because I feel like the women and the people in my life who I surround myself with are looking and hoping, like people who know that I'm launching my 3rd fucking podcast, that I'm doing it, that I built this studio, are like, yes, girl, go get it. You know what I mean? And the people that aren't, I have cut out.
Good.
And so maybe I'm making myself a little bit lonelier, but I am choosing to surround myself with the people and the guests. Like having you here was very much on purpose. No, seriously, you built this incredible thing. You were an immigrant. You were a teen mom. You built this thing, and then you show up with a big, fancy, gorgeous car. That's my dream car. You know what I mean? Like, but it's not just the things. It's just because you can, right?
Absolutely.
And who would have fucking thought?
Nobody. Like, looking at my younger self, I would have never in a million years. Like, if you had come to me in the hallway when I was pregnant, where people didn't want to sit with me at lunch because they thought I had like cooties, and I was gonna give them a disease, they were gonna go home and be pregnant.
Like, no, I'm just having a baby.
And I remember like one time yelling at somebody and being like, the baby in my head, right? Like, I'm still a smart person. Like, I still have A's.
Yes.
I
Pregnancy brain, but sometimes.
Yeah, it like literally got to that point because I became so like upset with the way people used to talk about me in the hallways.
Such crap.
And if you had come in that hallway, Deb, and you had said, "Hey, Greta, like in 2025, you're gonna do this," I would have been like, "Who are you? Like,
right.
Is this a joke? Where's Ashton Kutcher? Like, is this, am I punked? Like the poor version?
Where am I?
So
Aren't you glad you didn't know? Like,
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
of
Like,
course.
I always say, well, as we're going to wrap it up shortly, like, aren't you glad? Like, I always feel like if you could have a crystal ball, or, the famous question, if you could go back and redo, you know what I mean? Like, I'm guessing you wouldn't do anything differently.
I wouldn't do anything differently because I think all three businesses have our character and our integrity and our grit.
Yeah.
And I don't think those would have been there in the brand if we hadn't gone through what we've gone through, because we were the people that people pushed down. Every time we got up, people just pushed us down. So within our companies, our culture is insane because we have a culture of uplifting everybody. And I think that comes from Freddy and I, of how badly we were treated. And then in our business, like that pure integrity, like that pure, like the customer is always right, that came from all the things that we had to undergo to get to where we are. Like, our customers are everything to us. And Freddy, he's remarkable. Like, I don't just say because he's my husband, but he inspires me every day, because no matter how much money there might be in a deal, if he knows it's not the right investment for the homeowner, if he knows that like the homeowner shouldn't do it for whatever reason, like, he will tell him, while 4 other contractors are like, no, yeah, do it. He'll be like, no,
nah,
you don't need to do that.
I love
and
that.
then, and then customers call and they're like, there's just something in Freddy's eye. Like, no matter how big the company gets, Freddy is never driven by money. And he's always driven about like the legacy and the people. Like,
legacy.
He wants the legacy. He always tells me, he tells me this. He
No
said,
pressure, Enzo.
he said, no, but he says this. He says, as a business owner, you have 2 choices. You could walk around being the person that makes the most money, because, once you start shuffling cards, like, there's opportunities to make so much money. Sure. But I said there's also opportunities for your children long after you've gone to walk into a room and somebody say, I knew your dad. Like, your dad was an incredible man. Like, I admired him in the community. And Freddy says, like, that is what inspires him. And I get teary doing that because Freddy said, I want to walk into a room when I'm 60 and have my son saying, Dad, like, I just met that guy and he like, the words that he told me. And Freddy said, that's what inspired me. He said, if I have to leave millions on the table, to any business owner listening, if you have to leave millions on the table, but know that your children will be walking into rooms in the future and they're going to hear the best words of you, and hopefully they carry that to their children. That's what motivates him, because it says in business you have only 2 options, and most business men and women tend to pick the money, and sometimes they leave a lot of dust upon their name that their children then have to carry
Sweep
over or burn bridges, or like be in a coffee shop and be like, ooh, I don't want to look at her, like let me go this way, let me go hide in the bathroom till she leaves. And I don't want to ever do that, and I'm okay with that. So a lot of people look at Golden Group's growth and they're like, you could have tripled this company. Sure, I could have. But would I have maintained the same integrity, character, and a culture?
And maintain your employees. You know what I mean? That's part of it too, is like employee retention, because that bringing someone new on is a whole year basically before they're up to speed and in the know. And so the retaining of that and your name, I love the legacy thing so much.
And I'm so grateful, by the way, like I'll towards the end, I'll leave it with this. All the people in Massachusetts that have supported Freddy and myself, they've become my family. We didn't have family, we didn't have referrals, like friends to give us, but like all these people became our people, and they saw something in us that was worth them going out of their way in Facebook posts and being like Freddy and Greta, or being like, or going to their company and putting up a flyer, a graphic that they did themselves at the lunch, So like, to me, like, how blessed are we? I don't like to use the word blessing in business, because like, if you're not successful, like, then it doesn't mean anything. Like, it's not because you're not blessed. Like, it's just,
Exactly.
it's remember the cards, like your time's coming. You just got to shuffle it like 10 times harder.
Like,
That's fine. But I will say that I feel blessed for the people that have supported our us as individuals and have allowed us to create this company. I don't think that it would have ever happened if these people who didn't know us, they just knew our story. They gave us a hug, and they took us into their arms as they would. And a lot of people would always tell me after the project was done that you reminded me of my daughter. That's why I went with you. Or like, you reminded me of a younger version of myself. Or I had a firefighter woman the other day said that she went with me because she was a woman firefighter. And she said there's not a lot of women doing a lot of manly jobs.
You are in a very male dominated space. And I as somebody who has been there before, you know, even podcasts, you look around, there's a lot of podcasts, a lot of them are male, you know, it is very important, especially now with everything that's going on in the world, that we use our voices and use our superpowers. And so Greta, oh my God, where can people find you?
Well, I'm pretty open book.
Pour yourself out. What's your website? Tell them everything.
I am very open on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram with just Greta Bajrami, my first name and my last name. So we can always.
How do you spell your last name?
Bajrami. And I also I'm going to have a podcast soon with my daughter called Half and Half.
I love
and the beautiful thing why it's called Half and Half is obviously half Chiara, half Greta, half mom of daughter, but it's also because you pour a little half in coffee, and Albanians all our shit talking. No, I'm kidding. All our gossip happens in the coffee shops. Like, if you're in a European coffee shop or in Paris or in Italy and you see two women like a little close together in the espresso, you know they're talking about something.
What's going on.
They're talking about.
All right, next time we got to do this over coffee. I mean, I really like the rosé, but I mean, I'm feeling. I'm like, hey.
Yeah, so we're gonna call it Half and Half, and I'm super excited to share this new journey with Chiara.
Oh my God, 100%.
She's gonna, you know, this next chapter of my career, it will be focused on the leadership in the community, on giving as much resources as I can to women within my circle, and a book. I am anticipating that I'll drop a book soon. I don't want to say just when yet, but I'm going to make it two books. The first book will be focused on the startup.
Nice.
And then the second book will be focused on all this glorious stuff.
I love it. I mean, listen, girl, 100%. I'm so glad. I cannot thank you enough for being here.
Thank you for having me here.
This was so much fun.
I hope I poured you a story.
Oh my God, you did. And then for me, I mean, I guess if you can find me at pourmeastorypodcast.com, pourmeastory.podcast on Instagram. I'll let you know about Facebook. I know it's going to be there. I think it's going to be Pour Me a Story Podcast at Facebook. But also, please don't forget to like this, subscribe, all that fun stuff that I really hate asking for. I'm really bad at that.
No, you got to.
I know, but like it, review, enjoy, and just keep listening. Share this with your friends. And also, if you know of any good guests who come on, bring them. Oh my God, cheers. Yay to Greta.
Thank you. Thanks, Ted.